Have you ever found yourself trying to negotiate with your own body, begging it for more energy, or trying to discipline it into a shape? We have been taught that the best version of ourselves is the one that pushes through, the one that overrides hunger and ignores exhaustion. It is so easy to stay in that cycle because the world rewards it. We get the gold stars for consistency and the compliments for dedication, even when we are running on fumes. But in that pursuit of being disciplined, we start living from the neck up. We stop inhabiting our bodies and start monitoring them, treating our physical selves like a project to be finished, rather than a living, breathing partner to move through life with. And here's the truth we often miss. Sometimes the impulse to train isn't about movement at all. It's simply a way to find a sense of control when we feel disconnected or a little dysregulated in our lives. Underneath that pattern is often a deeper fear. If I slow down, I will lose everything I have built. If I don't control my body, I will be out of control. If I rest, I will fall behind. These aren't just superficial thoughts. They are echoes of not feeling safe or enough unless you are striving. But those beliefs shape everything. From how you move, to how you eat, to the very tone of your voice you use when you speak to the body that carries you. Movement can be a beautiful release, but if it's rooted in harshness, your body eventually does the only thing it can to protect itself. It stops you. Sometimes through burnout, and sometimes through an injury. But when you shift from driving your body to listening to it, your whole system responds with a level of health that discipline alone can't buy. You send a signal of safety directly to your nervous system. It stops bracing for the next push and shifts from survival into repair. This is where your biology actually changes. Stress hormones drop, inflammation settles, and your body finally has the resources to rebuild your energy and restore your mental clarity. You are not just recovering from a workout, you are restoring your capacity to show up for your life. So how do we start being a better partner to ourselves today? Number 1, the 5-second check. Next time you are mid-workout, stop. Don't check your watch or your heart rate. Just drop into your body and ask, am I doing this with my body or to my body? Number 2. The empowerment of rest. This is perhaps the hardest shift. When your body sends a signal that it can't move, even when your mind is screaming that you should, I want you to try something new. Don't view the rest as a waste of time. View it as a high-level skill. When you choose to sit down because your body asked you to, you aren't falling behind. You are performing a radical act of trust. You are proving to your system that you are a safe person to live with. There is an incredible, quiet power in being the kind of person who listens to their needs. Now, here is something quite remarkable to think about. There are over 30 trillion cells in your body, each one alive, communicating, adapting, just for you. They aren't asking for a flawless performance. They are simply showing up. So let your awareness be your way of acknowledging the miracle you live in. You are not here to perfect yourself. You are here to partner with yourself, to live in harmony with the home you carry. If your body could ask to you today, without the pressure to perform or change, what do you think it would ask for? Next episode, we discuss outgrowing the roles we play, exploring what happens when the old version of you no longer feels honest, and how to navigate the tension that growth creates. Until next time.